I wasn't expecting Caitlin Clark to be coming back this early, but ESPN put out an article earlier this week kind of summing up. They was predicting Caitlin Clark to be back by August the 12th. Now, this just came out of the pipeline of the Indiana Fever front office. Let's pull it up right now.
The Golden Goose is back on the radar, and the entire basketball world is holding its breath. After weeks of silence and mounting speculation, Caitlin Clark's injury status has been upgraded to a game-time decision, sending ripples through the entire WNBA. The Indiana Fever's franchise star, the league's undisputed ratings powerhouse, and arguably the most influential figure in women's basketball, is preparing to lace up her sneakers once again.
Effing Clark is a game-time decision. She is a game-time decision. She is, as far as I'm aware, someone said she's listed as questionable on the app. Someone said on the app she's listed as questionable. But she is a game time decision, apparently. Look, if we're going to be honest, no, she's a game.
When Clark steps back onto the court, it's more than just an injury comeback, it's the return of the league's beating heart. Without her, the WNBA has been staggering its viewership, plunging like a stone, its momentum all but stalled. But now the cavalry has arrived, and everyone from league execs to rookies on the bench knows exactly what's at stake: the spotlight, the ratings, the relevance, and yes, the paychecks all hinge on what happens next.
Be back, and that will leave a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left to get ready for the playoff run. Right now, you're looking at the Atlanta Dream, or you're looking at the Phoenix Mercury, which should be very interesting considering all the plots.
Here's the brutal truth no one wants to say out loud it. Everyone knows deep down. Before Clark went down with that groin injury on July 15th, Indiana Fever games were pulling in a jaw-dropping 1.81 million viewers. The moment she vanished from the lineup, that number nosedived to 847,000. That's a staggering 53% drop, like a freight train slamming into the league loaded with nothing but cold, hard reality.
Yes, intelligently. No one person means as much to their league, whatever league it is, as Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA. And no person has done more for their league than what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA. Patrick Mahomes does not mean that much to the NFL. Steph Curry does not mean that much to the NBA. LeBron James does not mean that much to the NBA. She is a monster. When we look back on this, Caitlin Clark will be for the WNBA what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were.
But it gets worse. National WNBA viewership across all games cratered by 55% during Clark's absence. Let that sink in. Over half the league's TV audience vanished because one player was sidelined. That's not just star power. That's an economic dependency so deep it would make any CEO lose sleep. The numbers don't lie. This league isn't just boosted by Caitlin Clark, it's built.
Tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game. I can't help but laugh because the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was a quote that we got last year from Angel Reese when she was talking about how people don't just watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They watch it because of her as well. Hate to say it, those numbers don't lie. They're watching because of Caitlin.
The ticket market echoed the same harsh reality. With Clark in the lineup, Indiana Fever games were averaging $137 a seat. Without her, that number plummeted to just $80. When the Fever faced the Chicago Sky without both Clark and Angel Reese, tickets that once fetched $86 dropped to a humiliating $25. Even marquee matchups weren't safe. Premium seats fell from $210 to $95, with the cheapest options crashing from $86 to $25. Teams that had moved games to larger arenas in anticipation of Clark-driven crowds were left scrambling. The Washington Mystics even shifted a game to Baltimore just to accommodate demand, only to watch ticket prices nosedive from $41 to $14 the moment Clark was ruled out. The message was clear: no Clark, no crowd.
Tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the
Sports economist Ryan Brewer estimated that Caitlin Clark's economic impact could reach a staggering $1 billion this season, and that's not just headline hype. That figure includes merchandising, tourism media rights, and the countless ways a true cultural phenomenon fuels an entire industry, her presence alone has been valued at around $340 million for the Indiana Fever, turning a once-overlooked franchise into the league's crown jewel. But the ripple effects go far beyond Indianapolis Clark's influence is reshaping the financial landscape of the entire WNBA.
Verge of seeing Caitlin Clark become bigger than the sport herself. WNBA viewing attendance is up over 200% since she joined the league. The Indiana Fever actually are outselling the Pacers, averaging over 17,000 attendance per game. That's crazy. $1 billion is the estimated increase in WNBA valuation based on Caitlin Clark alone. $1 billion. Now, this is up about 25% from the total economic value. Crazy to see these kind of numbers. I think we're on the verge of seeing something like MJ Tiger, where the average consumer goes to the TV because of something.
When Clark hits the road, ticket prices spike on average by a staggering 140%, with resale prices soaring to $312 of the 10 best-selling WNBA games on StubHub this season. Every single one featured the Indiana Fever. The retail side tells the same story. Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% increase in WNBA merchandise sales year over year, while Fanatics saw WNBA merch skyrocket by over 500%. Clark now ranks among the top 20 best-selling athletes across all sports and sits sixth among basketball players. NBA included her Nike deal, an eye-popping $28 million over 8 years. Her WNBA salary, just $76,535. It's a glaring imbalance that underscores a simple truth: Caitlin Clark isn't just valuable, she's the engine driving the league's entire economy.
Agent Aaron Kane said Caitlin will never be paid what she's worth by the WNBA because it is quite literally impossible for them to pay her what she's worth. An economist at Indiana University Columbus calculated that Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity for this past season, including attendance, merchandise sales, and television. One player in a big league responsible for 27% of the...
What makes Clark's impending return even more dramatic is the state of the Indiana Fever. In her absence, they've been operating in full crisis mode. Both backup point guards Ari McDonald and Sydney Colson went down with season-ending injuries in the same August 7th game against the Phoenix Mercury, forcing the team to scramble and sign 12-year veteran Odyssey Sims on a hardship contract. Despite the chaos, the Fever posted a solid 6-4 record over their last 10 games, including a dominant 92-70 win over the Chicago Sky, accomplished with just 9 available players. Kelsey Mitchell seamlessly stepped into the point guard role, delivering a stellar 26.8 assist performance with only 1 turnover. Aaliyah Boston, meanwhile, has been putting up video game numbers, shooting 78% from the field over a 4-game stretch. But here's the uncomfortable truth everyone in the organization knows: this is borrowed time. The Fever can survive without Clark, but they can't thrive. They won't be championship contenders. They can't sustain the massive TV audiences, sold-out arenas, or the cultural momentum that's made them go from irrelevant to indispensable. As Sophie Cunningham bluntly put it, this is a different team with Clark and a very different one without.
Wondering about Odyssey, she is a guard, 5'8". She's a veteran, 33 years old. This is interesting. She's been an all-star. She's also was 2019 All-WNBA, 2014 All-Rookie Team. She's had some good seasons in here, folks. No, she doesn't have a great history with the three-point shot. But if Caitlin Clark is coming back...
Clark's recent appearance on Sue Bird's podcast offered a rare glimpse into the emotional toll of carrying an entire league on her shoulders. She openly acknowledged the weight she feels, not just to perform, but to be present, knowing that viewership and ticket sales nosedive the moment she's out of the lineup. The pressure has moved far beyond basketball. It's now about the livelihoods of hundreds of millions in revenue, and the trajectory of women's professional sports resting on her ability to stay healthy. A text from her mother during this latest injury lays bare the emotional cost. You've taken so much time for everybody else. You have to take time for yourself now. This isn't a standard injury recovery, it's a crash course in learning to balance personal well-being with an economic responsibility number 22-year-old athlete should ever be asked to carry alone. Clark spoke candidly about the challenge of returning mid-season without the ramp-up of training camp. It's not like I have a training camp to build up to playing my first game again. It's like, no, you're tossed into game 30, go try to play well. She's battling the unpredictable Setbacks of a soft tissue injury. While fully aware that every missed game translates to massive financial ripple effects across the league, this isn't just about basketball, it's about sustaining an entire ecosystem built around her existence.
And playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process and just like trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating days, and there's days where like it's a little bit easier and like you're very, very motivated and like you're right close to the finish line of getting back and being back. And then like, it's not like I have a training camp to like build up to like playing my first game again. It's like, no, like you're tossed into game 30, like go try to play well. Like it's hard.
When Clark finally steps back on the court, and all signs say it's very soon, expect absolute pandemonium. Her comeback game is poised to be one of the most watched regular season WNBA games in history. The last time she returned from injury, facing the New York Liberty on June 14th, the game peaked at 2.8 million viewers, making it ESPN's third most watched WNBA game ever on ABC. Even with Clark missing 19 of 32 games this season, overall WNBA viewership is up 21% compared to 2024. Non-fever games have surged 37%, showing the league's audience is expanding beyond just Clark's fan base. But everyone knows the real fireworks start the moment she's healthy and back in action. The timing couldn't be better. The Fever sit 5th in the league standings at 18-14, solidly in playoff contention, but needing every win to lock in their spot. They're riding a wave of confidence after dismantling Chicago without their star, proving they can compete at a high level even in the toughest circumstances. Now, with Clark's return imminent, the league and its fans are ready for the next chapter.
Just helped deliver a major statement win. On Saturday, June 14, Caitlin Clark returned to the court for the Indiana Fever after missing 5 games due to a quad injury. The Indiana Fever handed the New York Liberty their first loss of the season, and Caitlin Clark was at the center of it. She made a return with force, leading the charge on both ends of the floor, and she came back in dominant fashion, putting up 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Just shy of a 30-point triple-double in a 102-88 win over the New York Liberty. Now, even NBA's own LeBron James took notice, posting the